Here are 5 rules to buying a new iPhone. The first rule is going to be make sure you need the dang thing. Make sure you're not just upgrading to upgrade. I purchased a new iPhone 11, not to flex, here it is. I got it in purple because that's basically the only color that they had, and I thought it looked kind of cool. And I bought the thing because I had to. My iPhone 8 Plus was dropped into a toilet. It was my fault. I reached over and I don't even remember how it happened, but I knocked it in. I wasn't even going to the bathroom. I was just in my bathroom and I knocked my phone into the toilet. And water, electronics, they don't mix that well. I mean, they mix really well. Something happens when you do it. Like maybe oil and water don't mix well because when you mix them, you can't mix them. So but water and electronics mix really well because they create something, a dead phone. So I found that out the hard way and I tried for 2 days to fix it and it's unfixable. I looked for a new phone and I couldn't find one that I liked and I was comfortable with used, and I found some on SwapUp, but they were going to take like a week to get in and I didn't have any other alternatives. I didn't have a phone I could just use for like a few days while the new one came in. So I was kind of forced to buy the cheapest new phone that T-Mobile had in stock, and it was the iPhone 11. It was $600. It was way more than I'd want to spend, but I needed it. I needed it for work, and work makes me money. It's a worthy enough investment. I'm debt free, so I was okay with it, but at the same time, it's like $600. It's a lot of money. I like the phone. It's a nice phone, but I wish I could have bought something for $300 or $200, but that's just the way it goes. So make sure you actually need the phone, whether it's broken or it's to the point where it's unusable. I think that that's a good time to make sure to upgrade and make sure that you're getting a new phone. Because for some people, phones are really important. Some people just watch YouTube on them. For me, a phone, I watch YouTube on it, but it's also something important for my job. So I kind of needed it, so I bought it. That's just the way that it is. And I think that everybody has their own reasons for buying a phone. If it's something that's really important to you, make sure that it's working. If it's part of a business that you either run or are a part of, make sure that's working because it could be the difference between making money and losing money. So that's the first rule, is to make sure that you actually need to upgrade, that it's either broken or it's hindering you to a point where you can't take a picture, you can't even use the functionality of the phone, it's dropping calls and whatnot. Next is don't watch videos about new phones. I think that a lot of people get in their heads that they kind of want the new phone, start watching videos beautiful videos from MKBHD about the iPhone 12 Pro Max Plus Ultra 5G. And they see that and it looks really good. It's kind of a glorified ad. Yeah, it's a review, but you're showing off the phone and all these beautiful cameras, the beautiful lighting, so on and so forth. And I think that people kind of trick themselves into needing the new phone. They see that it has this and that, and they often just put those two together and go, oh, I need that new phone. They might have an iPhone 11 Pro Max and they think that, oh, I need the new one because of the little magnet on the back of it. That is the biggest gimmick I've ever seen. 5G is a gimmick still. It's all a gimmick. The whole thing is a gimmick. You just get a phone that works fine. Like the iPhone 11 I have, it's amazing. It's overkill. I wish I could have gotten an iPhone XS, but I couldn't find one, obviously locally. And I couldn't find one on SwapUp that would get here in time for my purposes. So people, I think, oftentimes convince themselves that they need something super brand new because it's got the new magnet, it's got the new this. You see all your favorite YouTubers, your favorite superstars and people on Instagram with the new phone. It's a phone. They just want it because they think it makes them look cool. I think that at the end of the day, I'd rather look cool with an older phone because I think that's cool. Let's talk about rule number 3. This is an important rule that I preach a lot about. Don't go into debt to buy this new phone. Things happen. I understand you need a new phone. I tried buying the toilet. Stuff happens. But if you're buying this new phone, don't go into debt to buy it. Don't buy a phone unless you can afford it with cash. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't have the cash to buy a phone, but I still need the phone. Here's what I would tell you. Either try and find one on Facebook Marketplace, and if your phone is broken like mine, I understand that that's going to be tough. Or what you could do is go into the store, get the cheapest possible phone you can get your hands on for $100, deal with that one for a month or 2 months or 3 months, sell it back for $70 or $80 to somebody on eBay, and then purchase your new phone with cash. That way you're not going into debt. Don't go into debt. There's no reason to go into debt. I've been in debt. It's not fun. It's much better to not be in debt. Trust me. So I think that make sure you're not buying these phones with debt. If you want the new phone every single year, I think that's cool. That's wonderful. Buy it with cash. Feel the burden and feel the pain of spending that $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $600, $500, $800 all at once. I think you need to feel that pain because this is a phone that the payments per month, I was looking at it, I think it's $20 to $23 a month to make the payments on this. And 23 bucks a month isn't that much money. I can do that. I can afford that. I can make it work in my head. It's not that much money. It's like not going to AAA once. But what I would tell you is when you spend the $670 plus tax up front, it hurts 4 times as much. Like, it is the worst feeling ever dropping that kind of money on a phone. But it's something that I think is really important, and it really makes you consider what you're buying. And I wish they would have had a cheaper option that I wanted, but this is what they had. I'm happy with it. I can afford it. I was able to pay for it without debt. It just stings. Like $600 is so much for a phone. I was thinking about like potentially even returning it and going online and buying one. I don't know if I could do that. There's like a restock fee, how long I have for that. Let me know if I can do that, because $600 is so much money. And I don't know, it's too much, I think, but I needed the phone. I don't know. I keep going back and forth if I should have bought it or not. I think that at the end of the day, it was okay. I can afford it, but $600 is $600. The fourth rule is buy the phone from last year. If you're going to buy a new phone, there's a lot of purposes to buying a new phone. I still have to learn why it's okay to buy a new phone. I like buying stuff used, especially my tech, because they just plummet in value. And I think that buying a new phone is okay sometimes. It's okay. But if you're going to buy it new, buy last year's. That's what I did. There's an iPhone 12 Pro Max Plus Ultra 5G that I could have bought for $1,400, but that's this year's phone. The iPhone 11 is $599. That's last year's phone. So I opted for last year's phone. I'm not a multi-millionaire, but I make enough money to afford either phone, and I chose for the cheaper phone. And I think that the reason is because there's no reason to buy the latest and greatest, because the latest and greatest is only the latest and greatest until the new latest and greatest comes out. And you're never going to be able to keep up with it, because Apple is a business. They're built to make money. And if you try and buy a new phone every single year, you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime on cell phones, whereas you could spend significantly less money on a new cell phone. And I think that you have to maybe get over the fact that you don't have the latest and greatest every year, but like this phone is so nice. This is the nicest phone I've ever owned. It's not even close. And like that's part of the reason I feel like I shouldn't even have it, because I think it's almost too nice. Sometimes like I don't let myself buy and enjoy nice things. And I mean, I obviously enjoy it, but like $600 is so much money. It's fine. I did it. It's over with. I'm probably not going to return it. I'll just keep it for like 4 years and not drop it in the toilet. I got more protection this time. Maybe I should make that a rule. Maybe in my 6 rules, make sure you have a case and a front screen protector, because I broke my A Plus like 7 times. The screen, I just kept cracking it. And finally, the last one, and I think that after reading all these again, this is the most important one. Don't define your value as a person by what phone you have. I think Apple, Samsung, they sort of, I don't know if they do this intentionally, but they sort of make you almost feel, I don't know, maybe less significant because you have last year's phone. They make you really feel like you have to get this newest phone, or maybe not even Apple or Samsung, but the YouTubers you watch, and I know you're on YouTube, so the YouTubers you watch, they have the new phone. They're talking about it. They have it in their hand. They're taking pictures with it. They're making it look amazing. Don't define your self-worth based on what phone you have, because at the end of the day, it's going to be last year's phone next year. It's always going to be old. You have the functionality of it being the new latest and greatest, but that is literally only for 1 year, and then it's done. Then you have last year's phone. So don't define your self-worth based on what phone you have. It's just a phone. There's no big deal. It's not, life isn't going to be any better because you have the latest and greatest phone. And if you think that you maybe need to reevaluate your life a little bit. So those are my thoughts and my opinions and my 5 rules that I opted for when I purchased a new phone. If I could do it again, I wish I would have looked for a phone before I dropped mine in the toilet, because my phone was getting to a point where it was getting really sketchy. I had replaced the screen with an off-brand screen like 4 times, and I could feel the screen not working as well, and I knew it was going to break eventually. I think the toilet just really pushed it up a little bit. I should have just bought a used phone a little bit earlier. That's what I should have done. I didn't. It cost me $300. It's okay, but just know that if I could go back in time, the thing that I would have changed is just upgraded my phone when I knew I should have upgraded it. And that's sort of the first one. Is I was trying to just, it was functionally okay, but parts of the screen weren't working. The home button wasn't working that well. None of it was really working that well. It would turn off at like 25% battery all the time. And I should have just bit the bullet and bought the phone at that point instead of having to spend an extra $300 on this phone, whereas I could have got this phone that's somebody's that they used for like a year for $300, and I would have been much happier because I would have saved a lot more money. But that's what I have to talk about here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're still here, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on topics for videos over the next year. I definitely took 2020 a little slower, but I was fixing up my house and we sold our house. We got debt free. We did all these wonderful things, but none of that really pertained to YouTube. So I'm hoping that you guys maybe could give me some ideas for 2021. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.